Sucker!
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Let's talk about CM Punk because they being the reporters say that CM Punk's return to AEW is imminent. That the Warner Brothers Discovery Group, that the network execs have already been told he's coming back to TV. And this is the rumor. This is the full rumor that not only is Punk coming back, they're creating a new show called AEW Collision. It's going to be on Saturday nights. And it's essentially going to be AEW's brand split. They're going to have one roster that's pretty much on Dynamite. Most of the guys are always on Dynamite. And the other side is most of the guys are always on Collision. The Collision camp will be the Punk people. The Dynamite people will be the Elite people. This is what is being rumored around. Now, I personally have several issues with this idea. But what do you think about it when you hear it?
Well, that's not an idea that I like. Okay, that's just not something. We already know the turmoil as far as guys not liking each other and whatnot, guys not wanting to work with each other. And the thing is, it's not like this is rumor or anything. This is fact. As far as certain guys in AEW that haven't touched each other in this last 3 years. I even talked about, I even said something about, or anything like that. So this could create a little bit more friction because now we are fighting within, a company as far as who's the best, who's got the best guys. We got our guys, you got your guys. One thing I always talk about in my wrestling school, we ain't got no clicks. It's a merit system as far as how far you go. And if it was any other way, we always talk about, if there's any loose link in the chain, we got to take that loose link out, get rid of it, put it back together, boom, and keep rolling the same way. We got to roll together at the same pace at the same time to get to our destination as quickly as possible. And when I see something like that, I don't see that.
I don't either. Kai Toenail said CM Punk is okay. I enjoy Cult of Personality more than him in ring. So why would you go make another show just to have one person there separated from others? I will say this. And this is something I didn't think that I would say regarding CM Punk. What is being reported is he wants to come back. He wants to make amends. He wants to put water under the bridge, whatever. There's a rumor that he's met with Chris Jericho and Tony Khan already to try to get that situation under control. I don't know if that's true or not. But the other part of the story is that the Elite don't want to, and the Elite of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega don't want anything to do with him. Now, you can definitely understand why they wouldn't want anything to do with him. He comes into a company that they helped create, causes some turmoil, says that they couldn't manage a Target in Reseda or whatever he said. And they had some comments for him and it led to a brawl backstage, right? Not great. I understand why they wouldn't want to work with him, but here's what I say to them. Aren't y'all the executive vice presidents of the company? Like, shouldn't you want to do whatever's best for the company? One thing that we can't deny is that CM Punk does bring in an audience because since he left, them going over 1 million hasn't happened a whole hell of a lot. And if I'm the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, I'm going to say, look, this match also could maybe make a little money, right? And we're in the business of making money. I'm sure, Booker, I know for a fact you've had to work with people who you do not like. That's just work, right? Yeah. And if somebody was going to bring in money, help me make money, help bring attention to the show and build it up, and I'm the executive vice president of the company, I'm going to put the water under the bridge. We saw Vince do it 1,000 times. Hulk Hogan testified against him in court in a federal case, and he brought him back and made him the world champion. I mean, you have to do what's best for the business. So in this regard, in CM Punk's side of things, I think that if everything they're saying is true is he's making steps to make amends, that's the right thing that he should be doing. Don't know how sincere it is, but the Elite need to sit down with him if they do not want to. I think that shows that maybe they shouldn't be executive vice presidents of the company. That's just my personal opinion on it.
Well, it's a touchy situation, man. My thing is this.
And I don't think Punk's conducted himself well by the way, overall. But in this particular sense, I see what he's thinking.
Yeah, yeah. My thing is, I get everything you're saying, and my thing is this here too. I've always been able to say, "Hey, man, let's sit down and talk about this." I mean, I'm not too big to where I can't say, "Man, let's get past this and go make some money." Um, First and foremost, because it ain't our stuff. It's Tony Khan's, man. I mean, this is his money that he's putting up. Bruh, let's hug it out and go get this paper. That's the way I would feel. Okay, but on the other hand, when I think Punk just made that statement just a week ago, that
A
just
couple weeks ago, yeah.
exactly.
Didn't help his case.
If none of that wouldn't have happened, I could see the deal already being done.
Yeah.
I can see everybody, but after that, you got to question somebody's motives. Are they just doing it to just let's go get this money because they're in a situation? Are they doing it because they really want to make this thing right? That's where you got to question a little bit.
And the thing is too, and I said it on here, like if it were up to me, and it's like if I had the choice, hey, do I want to be around CM Punk? I don't think he's handled himself well in this company at all, right? I don't think so. Now if I'm Tony Khan and I'm like, hey, guys, I'm paying this guy a lot of money just to sit at home. I would like to get some of my investment back of this. Yes. And y'all being the vice president.
Yeah, but it seemed like Tony Khan would have had some check on CM Punk as far as making these kind of statements to stir up all the hornets.
I don't disagree.
That's
I don't disagree.
That's what I'm saying. Like I say,
and I think that go ahead.
This is the way I feel about it. And I say it again. I think something like this should have been talked about. It should have happened a long time ago behind closed doors.
Agreed.
It was all those guys coming together and say, hey man, hey bro, let's make this thing right. And how can we make an angle out of it? Okay.
Agreed.
That's what I would have been thinking. How can we really pull one over the fans here? And the thing is, guys, I've actually had this conversation before with one of the guys. I said, hey man, I don't like you and you don't like me. But we're gonna have to work together. All right. It's that simple. All right. That's why I've been, in this business before and been mad enough to actually put myself in that position. Like I say, something like this should have happened a long time ago where somebody should have been a man about this and made a phone call and been the bigger man and said, hey, bro, let's fix this. Let's make an angle out of it. Let's make AEW, pop. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you could be wrong, but I don't think that you are. I completely agree with what you're saying. I guess my thing is if the boss came to me and said, hey, look, I want to bring this guy back. All right. I'm paying him a lot of money. I want to bring him back. Yeah, I know he's an a-hole. I know he says some things that really piss everybody off, me included. And I wish he'd shut his mouth. But he's under contract. We're paying him a lot of money. The network wants him back. I want him back. He's coming back. Do you think then they should be like, okay, we'll sit down and have a meeting with him. We'll figure out how we can make this all work. No, what they're saying is, why don't you just go make a whole nother show, get a whole nother roster of guys, go to the network, get them to do that because I'm not going to work with them. If that's really what's happening,
I don't even want to speculate on something like that happening.
Well, that's what it sounds like. That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, but I can't listen to these, reporters who's reporting it sometime, man. You just can't.
I hear you.
You just can't do that. I would think that, Tony Khan would have tried to, get a handle on that thing and say, hey, man, if we're going to fix this, let's fix it. If we're not going to fix it, we're not going to fix it. But I don't think you can have the EVPs telling the owner of the company what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. It's just that simple. I mean, it's a line that you come to, with talent. And it's a line that you don't cross. It's just that simple. And I say that because I've worked with major companies forever. At least for the last 30 years, I've worked with a major company. And I wouldn't have done it with Eric Bischoff. I wouldn't have done it with Vince McMahon. And I wouldn't expect anyone that worked for me to actually hold me up in my own wrestling company. You dig it, sucker!
You are listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.